If you're new to Diablo, or maybe you played one of the previous Diablo games many years ago and need a refresher, then stick around. I got you covered. Diablo is an ARPG, or action role-playing game, where you're playing the role of a class of your choosing in the game. You could also refer to this genre of game as a dungeon crawler, as you're often going through dungeons and the world more generally with hordes of mobs everywhere. You control your character via a top-down view, where you will move around, see enemy mobs, and well, eliminate them. Diablo is known for its brutal yet amazing storytelling having to do with demons and angels. I don't want to spoil anything regarding the story, just know that it is top notch with amazing graphics, great storytelling, and some of the best voice acting you will ever hear in a video game throughout the entire game, down to the most unimportant side characters that you talk to. And not only that, but Diablo IV has taken this even further. The character you make will actually be inserted into most in-game cutscenes in a way you've never seen a game do before, which really makes you feel like you are part of the story. Basically, even if you normally aren't a story person in video games, you will be by the end of your first playthrough of Diablo IV. Now let's get on to talking about the different classes. In Diablo IV, you'll have one of 5 classes to choose from before you start the game for the first time. I will be doing a class breakdown of each of these on the channel around game launch time, but for now, you just need to know that you can pick between a barbarian, who is a hand-to-hand combat character made to take a beating and keep going, a sorcerer who uses elemental magic to deal tons of damage to enemies, a rogue who is able to easily jump in and out of combat and deal a lot of damage either up close or with a bow from range, a necromancer who raises an army of undead minions to fight for him while using curses, blood, and bone magic to kill enemies, and a druid who can transform into animals and fight enemies up close and has a number of earthly magic skills that can be used to take care of large groups of enemies. You'll quickly find the whole point of Diablo is to not just pick one of these classes, beat the game, and be done with it, but rather you'll likely end up wanting to play through the game in every class, probably multiple times, as there are many different ways to play each of the classes. And that brings me to my next point. Playing through the game as you go through killing enemies, you will level up. And each time you level up, your character's stats increase, making them stronger. You get skill points, which you can spend on skills that are specific to that class. And there are dozens of different skills to choose from along the skill tree, which you will see once you're in the game. And also along the way, you'll find loot or equipment for your class. Now, looting is a big part of this type of game, and what can make a game like Diablo so addicting. The further you progress through the game, you'll find equipment like weapons, armor, and jewelry that have special attributes on them. These attributes enhance your class's fighting ability. Some will be generic, just giving your character more strength or making you deal more damage to close range enemies, while some will be very specific, such as making it so a sorcerer can summon an extra Hydra to fight alongside of it. These attributes for lower level characters start out more on the generic side, and the more you level up and progress through the game, they get increasingly more powerful and game changing. The whole point of finding the best loot is honestly to make your character feel so powerful that you feel like you shouldn't be as strong as you actually are. Having a character feel too powerful in a game like this is actually a good thing. Don't worry though, as you get more powerful and further in the game, that feeling wears off, and then you'll have to find more equipment to feel that way again. It's this loop that's just honestly very fun to keep going through over and over. Now, the way games like this, and specifically Diablo IV, is laid out is you will start with one of 2 difficulty levels to choose from, Adventurer or Veteran. Adventurer, being the easier of the 2, will be great for someone brand new to this type of game to start out on. But I do recommend that after you get used to playing the game, you change the difficulty to Veteran level, which you can do at any time from the main menu or in-game at the main cities for each region. Now, moving up to Veteran will not only provide you with more of a challenge, but you'll get increased experience points to level up faster and increased gold, which will have many uses as your currency in the game. You can level your character up to level 50 on Veteran difficulty, and once you beat the game here, you then unlock a harder difficulty level called Nightmare, allowing you to level up to level 70 as you go through the game again. The monsters you fight are much harder and often have magical effects on them, and they drop much better loot as well. After beating the game on Nightmare, you'll then unlock Torment difficulty, where you can reach level 100 and again fighting much more difficult enemies with top level rewards. And there are things to do beyond this point too, but I'll save those for a future video. Essentially, games like this are designed in a way to where you want to repeatedly beat it over and over again because the experience changes so much each time you do it. Now, speaking of that experience, the game isn't as straightforward as just running through a set of levels, beating some bosses, listening to a little bit of story, and then rinsing and repeating. The game actually has a lot of depth to it as well. First, you're in an open, shared world. As you travel around, you will see other players online going through the game as well. Now, while dungeons and anything related to the main story of the game is instanced, which means that the experience is just yours, you're kind of playing through it single player, means other players are progressing through the game alongside you, doing side quests, fighting world challenges, and shopping within the towns. And speaking of fighting alongside others, you can group with up to 4 other friends or even these random people that are traveling around your world and use the in-game voice chat feature. You can even join a clan, which is a larger social group made by players. My community will have a clan at the launch of the game, so if you're looking for somebody to play with, help you learn the game, or just generally have some fun with, be sure to join my Discord channel, which is linked down in the description box below, and we'd be glad to have you. Now, when it comes to beating the game, you can sort of make your own path here. And while you do have to go through each region's act in an order for the main storyline quest, you can sort of pick which regions you go through. Not only that, but there are hundreds of side quests, each with their own little stories and rewards along the way as well, giving you plenty to do outside of just going through the main storyline. You have over 150 dungeons to conquer, most of which have their own unique bosses to defeat, amazing loot, and even replayability, as later in the game you can find an item called a sigil that will add specific challenges and rewards to a dungeon that you've already defeated. You'll find random world events as you travel around, which are little mini challenges that give you a good reward at the end. You have strongholds to conquer, which can be really hard to defeat but unlock their own special reward, and world events where you partner with up to 12 other people to defeat a huge world boss, and many more things along the way through the game, some of which at the point of me recording this video we may not even know yet, as I'm recording this prior to the game even fully launching. Now, Diablo IV is a live service game as well. The way things are going to work here is at the launch of the game, you can make your own permanent characters for the game, but the real fun starts when Season 1 begins shortly after the full launch of the game. You see, Diablo will be breaking their game into 3-month-long seasons. When a season begins, you can make a seasonal character where you select a class and progress through the game as we have already talked about, but each season has rewards you earn for your account as you level up. The season itself through the gameplay may have special loot you can only obtain within that season, and there will likely be things that change within the gameplay of the game as you go from one season to the next, but also each season will have a season pass that you can purchase that will allow you to unlock aesthetic or visual rewards for your characters. The way this will work is, as you level up, you will gain rewards as you go, unlocking unique looks for your character. These will likely be in the form of unique looking armor and weapons, to maybe even customizations to the class's looks like hairstyles, tattoos, and more. Some of these you will earn for free as you level up through the season, and others you will need to have the paid season pass to earn. It is important for me to note here that Blizzard has explicitly said over and over and over again that these rewards will only be cosmetic. Diablo IV has 0 pay to play in it, meaning spending money in the game will never give you an advantage over other players or give you any type of power in the game. It will only give you things that enhance the appearance. So it is not required to pay for the game, but if you like some of the things you see in the game and you want to look a little bit cooler, feel free to spend money as you wish. Now, within this season, your goal is to get your character that you made up to level 100 and unlock all of the rewards. Once the season ends, your seasonal character will then be converted into a permanent character, which you can play at any time outside of the seasons if you wish. A new season will start with new season pass rewards, some new in-game mechanics, new unique item drops that can only be obtained in that season, and where you'll have to make a brand new character to do it all over again. You may decide you love the game enough to participate in every season, or maybe you sort of hop in and out of the game, playing seasons here and there. That part's kind of up to you and how much you are enjoying playing the game. Me though, I played Diablo 1, 2, and 3 all when they first came out, but I haven't really touched a Diablo game or an ARPG game in general in over maybe the last 10 years or so. Diablo 4 seemed like it was going to be a lot of fun, so I played through both of the beta weekends and I enjoyed it a lot. It was incredibly fun. I decided to not only play through it, but that I also wanted to make this YouTube channel to share my fun and enjoyment of the game with you in live streams and through making game guides for you to hopefully get a lot out of and enhance your enjoyment of the game. Speaking of enjoyment, if you enjoyed today's video, please click the like button, drop me a comment below about your prior Diablo experiences or what you hope to get out of the game if you're brand new, and subscribe to the channel for more great Diablo 4 content.